so much for being here. Say hello to the people that are listening.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me, Sal. Hello, everyone. My name is Amelia Peacock, and as Sal mentioned, I'm the outreach coordinator for the San Antonio area with Grace After Fire. And we are an organization that serves women veterans and her families.
You know, I love the fact because, I have a heart for people that have served. I never had the opportunity to serve, but I know that the men and women who have served, who come back, they put everything on the line for us, and we have to be able to help them. They come back and they're in need of so many different things because it is, a lot for them to deal with. And anytime that there's an organization or somebody who helps, serve the vets, I'm definitely behind that. But thank you for what you do. Thank you for helping these men and women that have served our country in so many different ways, because I know the need is great. The
Absolutely.
need is very great.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little background, just maybe for people that are listening, maybe where, I know we were talking earlier and I know where you're from, but for people that may be curious, well, where are you from, or a little background about you.
Yeah, not a problem. Well, I grew up in the Houston area, Anahuac specifically, if anybody knows where that's at. It's about an hour to the east of Houston and an hour to the west of Beaumont. And so I grew up there and went to school there my entire life. And after I finished school, before I finished school, it was actually in, I think, June or July of 2001 that I decided to join the Marine Corps. And so you
served our country, and thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so, I went to the Marine Corps. I was there for 4 years.
Wow.
And then, unfortunately, I was having some medical problems, and so I had to go ahead and exit the Marine Corps because my body was not able to continue at that point. And then after that, I kind of bounced around a little bit. Lived in Virginia, went to school at Old Dominion University, got my degree in psychology, worked for my professor there, really enjoyed that, and then worked on the BP oil spill in Florida, then Mississippi, then finally made it back to Texas, back to my home state.
You got back here as quick as you could.
You're right. And so then it took me a while. I was in Houston for about 6 years, and then I finally found this organization. I found Grace After Fire, and that was really, honestly, as a veteran myself, that was the first time that I found community, that I found a place where I really kind of truly fit in and people just understood.
Sure.
And I wasn't taken as being aggressive or, just being too much, right. from the civilian population, because it's difficult sometimes after you're in the military to come back to the civilian world and readjust.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we do here with Grace After Fire is we assist in that transition as well as any other transitions that another woman veteran might be going through.
Right. And that's the difficult part. Again, I haven't served, I know, but you can see how when these individuals are coming back, the things they have to deal with and the pain and the suffering that they go through, and they're thinking, hey, I got to deal with this on my own, because you're groomed that way in the service, right? It's like, hey, just deal with it and move on.
Yep, suck it up and move forward.
Right, and you make that transition, and you're kind of like, okay, this is not the way it used to be, and there's that, trying to figure out, how do I do this, or how do I get that, and it's just more added pressure, because it's trying to figure out, okay, I know I need help, but I know that I'm supposed to kind of, like you said, right, suck it up and just keep moving on. And the hardest part sometimes is to ask for help, because sometimes I think people, especially if you're a man, that it's a sign of weakness, right?
Right. Well, and even in the Marine Corps, you think about it, in all the services, the women are expected to take more of a masculine role, right? You're not as feminine, you're more masculine in that environment, because it's a lot of, women veterans, last time I checked, is like 1% to 2% of the military population. And so, you just kind of integrate into becoming more of a masculine kind of personality in that environment.
Right, because it's like one environment only,
yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
like everybody has to fit that one environment,
yes,
regardless of whether you're female or male, I think.
And then when you get out, you have that experience, and that's what you're groomed for.
Right.
But other people don't understand that. Civilians don't get it. And so you're seen as maybe, because, I had some experiences where I was trying to fix things for people because I could see issues and I could see where and how to fix them. So I would bring that to the table. But then it was like, what are you doing? Why are you bringing this up? Just different things of that nature. Sometimes being told you're too aggressive and things of that nature. So it is difficult. And what you mean, like, by asking about it alone or trying trying to deal with it on your own, that's something I think that's very common across the board. Again, because in the military, that's not the culture. You don't ask for help. You move forward.
Yeah.
And it's changing now. And I'm very grateful to hear that things are changing within the military now. They're kind of recognizing some of those aspects. But it's still a great need for community resources to be able to be available for anyone who is transitioning. And that transition, I don't believe, really ends. I think it's always kind of there. It doesn't go away. It's just different.
It is who you are, but you have to make the adjustments because you're not where you used to be.
Exactly.
But the some of the qualities that, I mean, I love the discipline part. I love everything that comes with it, of course. But it's difficult because you get so ingrained in, this is what they put into you. They break you to make you what they need you to be.
Absolutely.
And I think that stays with you for the rest of your life. And you being, I would have never guessed. I'm not saying that I didn't think that you could be a Marine. I'm just saying, wow, I didn't know that you were, the branches. I think the Marines is one of the hardest one, right?
Yes, sir.
That you would be a veteran from that.
Yes, sir.
But I think the important part, and I always say this because, at least for me, I tend to want to walk in people's shoes to better understand where they're coming from, or how I can help, or get to know what they're dealing with, because it makes it a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but it helps you to understand more, like, yeah, I kind of get a little bit of what you might have been going through.
That empathic.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And so you being, military, I think because and you walk those shoes and you've been up and down in those shoes, that you're better equipped to help people that are coming from that. Because I know it's difficult sometimes that, and I've heard this say because I when I see these things or, on TV or whatever, that they're talking to veterans, it says, well, you're not one of us, you haven't been there, so you couldn't understand. And I get that, and it doesn't mean that we can't care or we can't, try to love on you. But I get that part also, that it's like, well, I'm not from your side of the fence, so to speak.
Yes, sir. No, absolutely. And I think that and that carries across into all types of different environments, right? And so it's absolutely very true. But I do agree that being able to have an understanding of when I have a woman veteran on the phone, or when someone comes to me or comes to our organization for assistance, that I can help them. And that's really, that's really the key for one of our programs. Well, all of our programs, but one of them specifically is the peer-to-peer support programming.
Okay.
And that's called Table Talk Color Me Camo. And I've actually been facilitating this Table Talk Color Me Camo for 4 years, even though I've only been with the organization for 2.5. So I was a volunteer beforehand, and I love the program because it really takes you through the process of what that transition looks like, where you're at in life right now, what you're looking for, how to get there, and a support system of your fellow sisters to help you and to give you that either that support, or whether it's the loving that you need or just a little gentle push, they're there for you. And it's nothing but women veterans. No one else is allowed to be in. It's a closed group.
So the organization is basically for women, correct?
Yes,
sir. Is that
my
understanding?
Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir. And their families. And so, like, for example, we just recently did what's called Operation Santa out of Houston. And I have a truckload full of toys that I'm looking for women veterans that are in need to be able to provide those to. I know it's a little bit after Christmas, but they did come from a Christmas event.
Right.
And so I have those items to provide for their families, for kids and things like that. We have some scooters and just really neat stuff that was donated.
Okay. So if somebody's listening right now that maybe for whatever reason you weren't able to get what you thought you were going to get, or maybe you only had enough funds to maybe just get 1 or 2 toys, and you may have 3 or 4 kids, they can reach out to you, and you can connect them or hook them up, as they say.
Oh, absolutely.
With toys.
Absolutely. And they can reach out to me at 210-864-2958, or they can email me at Amelia, that's Amelia, at graceafterfire.org.
Okay. So we're putting that out there. If maybe, and it does happen sometimes, especially right now, the way things are. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and it's just not the norm per se. And it seems like it's getting back to what we were, about 2 years ago.
Right.
But, and I know sometimes it's hard because I hear people say this, that, my pride doesn't allow me to go and ask for things. But, sometimes it's not necessarily maybe for you, it may be for your kids, right?
Right.
And so if that's been your situation, if you're listening, or if you know of a family, the mom maybe wasn't able to get exactly what, or because of the lack of funding, they weren't able to give enough toys, this is a perfect opportunity for them to reach out to you.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. And another area that I'd like to share, based on what you were just speaking on, that pride that sometimes keeps us from asking for help. I just like to share some of the other programs that we have.
No, absolutely.
Grace After Fire, you talked about, at the beginning, you talked about that community and how we met, right, at the networking event.
Yes, right.
And that is one of the hugest things for us. That is one of our services, is resource navigation. And so it's very important for me as the outreach coordinator to be able to know of the different resources available for my women so that I can get them to the right people. And so that is one of our services, is that community resource navigation, the peer-to-peer support programming. We also have social events and workshops that we do with other organizations and by ourselves and everything of that nature.
Okay.
We have a financial basic needs assistance program. This is an amazing program. It is time sensitive, so it's, the earlier you can get your documentation and paperwork in, the better.
Okay.
But we have been funded by TVC, Texas Veterans Commission, to be able to provide financial grants for women veterans and their families. So the woman has to be a veteran to be able to apply.
Okay.
But it is up to $1,500 and once in a 12-month period, and it will allow for us to help with mortgage payments. It will allow us to help with rent payments. It will allow us to help with first month's and move-in and first month's fees. If you're moving into somewhere that's requiring other fees, it allows us to help with car insurance, utilities.
Well, there's a lot.
Yes, sir, there is. There's a lot. And then this last year, it's amazing because we actually got added. We are now able to also assist with dental as well as vehicle repairs. And I think that's a huge one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because that can, something happens to your vehicle, it comes out of the blue, you're not prepared for it, but so our programming is very amazing. For the financial assistance program. And then the other one that I want to mention, the other two I'd like to talk about, is our wellness programming. Yes,
really
sir.
Quick before we jump into the other ones, I know you said it was time sensitive. Do you have to we only do this in March, or?
Oh, no, it's every month, but we have a certain amount of funding, right?
Sure.
And so the earlier that you can get your documentation in at the beginning of the month, the better off.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so it's going to be, because, we might have so many options available, and so after we hit our max for that month, we wouldn't be able, our grant would be closed for the rest of the month. And so it is, the better you can get it in, the earlier you can get it in at the month, the better.
Okay. So,
yes, sir.
Great opportunities to be able to tap into these resources. Again, I'm always amazed because I always say that you think you only do one thing, right? Because I hear maybe one thing, but then they come here and they're like, well, we do this, we do this, we do this. And I'm like, who would have known, right? But that's why we want to do what we do, because there's so many things. It's not just, oh, yeah, we can help you with this, but also we can also assist you with this and this. So
yes, sir.
It's great to know that these things are available, especially for the veterans, the women veterans, of course, specifically. It's such a great thing that y'all are doing, and I thank you for what y'all do.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I mean, this the way that this organization serves women really speaks to my heart, especially as a veteran.
Right.
And it's a belief of our organization that we can do nothing alone.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so important that we do what we do very, very well. We have 6 programs that we focus in on, and that's why one of them is that community resource navigation, because it's so important.
Right.
And speaking of the last 2 programs, one is our wellness program. Lots of different information on our website. You can go to it at www.graceafterfire.org. Great information there, as well as if anyone wants to register for our services, they can go there also. And the last one I want to mention, this is an amazing one, our yearly retreats. And these retreats, this is, I was able to go on one before I got hired on with Grace After Fire, and the friends and ladies that I met there, I am still in touch with,
Right.
and it just makes such a huge difference. And with my move to San Antonio from Houston just a few months ago, it made a huge difference because some of the ladies that I met there, actually a fellow Marine, she's right around the corner from me, and so it really made it nice to be able to have some of that community here already by the time. But the veteran retreats, I tell you, you go in as strangers, you come out as best friends, and it really is a life-changing experience.
Right.
And these retreats, they fill up super fast. So will open the registration in either February or March.
Okay.
Most likely maybe February. So I would say if anyone is interested in the retreat, make sure that you're looking at the website and make sure that the moment it opens, you register. Because the last time we had the registration, we had over 250 women register.
Wow.
And we can only take about 25. So
That's
yes.
Right. Yeah. we have retreats that they do here at Last Chance Ministries, and I know that I don't know exactly what you do, but I know that when you say retreat, that it's a bonding. It can be a life-changing situation. Being able to go and again, like you said, some of you go in. Sometimes you don't even know people, but you come out as family.
Yes.
And that's the greatest thing, one of the greatest things, because it's like, okay, I felt alone, and sometimes they do, right? They think nobody knows, nobody cares, nobody knows what I'm dealing with, but then you realize, I'm not alone. I have, there's other people that understand, and so that creates another bonding outside of what usually you would have in the service, right, as a team.
Absolutely. It gives you that community back. It gives you that feeling of family back, of oneness. It really makes a difference. I can't explain I can go months without talking to some of these ladies. Pick up the phone, like I picked up the phone and said, "Hey friend, I need help moving." And she's like, "Oh, me and my husband are on the way." And she and I went to boot camp together over 20 years ago. And it was no questions asked. "I'm here. Let me help you." And that's the type of bonds that you make.
Family community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so special.
So if you're listening right now, or you know somebody that maybe could benefit, and like you said, it's only 25 people, so I know that everybody wants to jump on that.
Yes.
But visit their website again. Give us the website and contact information where anybody that may want to maybe heard one of the services or that you're offering, that they're able to get in touch with you or communicate via the internet or whatever it is you have available.
Yeah, no, always email is best for me.
Okay.
You can reach me at email. It's my first name, Amelia, Amelia at graceafterfire.org. And always you can go to our website, www.graceafterfire.org. That also has contact information on it for our intake coordinator, Miss Erica Solis.
Okay.
And she does all the intake for first-time registrants. And then you can go to our website. That is www.graceafterfire.org.
Okay. So if anybody's listening, again, if you're a veteran, if you're a female, you want to definitely tap into some of these services that are available. You don't have to deal with things alone. Sometimes things get hard, and I know we have that mentality that I can do it, and yes, we can do it, but there's sometimes that I can't do it by myself. So we have to reach out for help. It's not it's not a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of I know that I need this help and to make me better, right? And I think if it makes you better, if it makes you healthier, whatever it does, I think it makes you or it allows you to help other people. So look at it that way. It's like if I make myself better, I can help other people as well that may be going through that as well. Do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I just want to share, we do office at a St. Philip's College, the Good Samaritan Veteran Outreach and Transition Center. And I just want to mention regarding the St. Philip's College Good Samaritan Veterans Outreach and Transition Center, they have an amazing setup there. So they have computers for anyone to be able to come in and utilize, printers. So if anybody needs to come in, that maybe you don't have a printer at home, you need to print some documents, scan documents, anything of that nature, they have all of that set up, as well as rooms. It's a beautiful campus, and I'm there on Mondays and Wednesdays. But I would ask that you email me or give me a call so that we can schedule a time so that I'm not in meetings. So I have enough time to be able to help whomever would love to come in and say hi.
Right. Now, and is that the one on the east side, or because I know they have one on the south side, St. Philip's?
It's the one. It's at 202 Connolly.
Okay, so would probably be the east side because the other one is on Quintana Road. I know that.
Yeah, it's kind of in the middle. It's on the southeast side of the city.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking maybe there's another one.
It's right beside the college, actually.
Okay. Okay. So again, if anybody has heard of some of these services that they would definitely like to be able to receive, or if you need help, whatever the case may be, reach out to them, because that's what they're for. It seems like it's a great program from what I've so far been able to see or hear what they're doing. And so we definitely want to be able to let people know that this is available as well. Anything else? Because we're kind of at the end of our show.
I just want to share that our main purpose is to provide women veterans with hope, purpose, and connection. So if any of those items are something that you're seeking, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. We're here.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Amelia, for coming and sharing what you all are doing. I think it's fantastic, and we definitely, anything Bridging the Gap can do to help, that's what we're here to do as well. Again, we're at the end of our show here, but thank you so much for joining us. We will be back here again next week. If you need to contact me, give me a call here at the studio. Thank you so much, and God bless.